welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, August 24th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. On Wednesday, Edward Bahrami appeared in Dedham District Court on felony larceny warrants from the Norwood Police after over 2 years on the run. In 2016, Patrolman Cordero first began tracking Bahrami after he was alleged to have stolen in excess of $37,000 from a homeowner in Norwood using a home improvement scam.
I am Chief Bill Brooks of the Norwood Police Department. If you follow us on Facebook or on Twitter, you probably saw that we recently arrested a guy in Pennsylvania who's wanted for a fraud here. The case all began about a couple of years ago when this guy was offering to do home repair jobs and taking money from people, but then he never did the work, and he eventually fled the state. Now, Officer Kyle Cordero of our warrant team did an awful lot of work over the last couple of years. He was actually able to track this guy to Pennsylvania. And when he finally located him, he coordinated with the police in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, for that matter, and arranged to have the guy taken into custody by Pennsylvania authorities. Once we knew that he was under arrest, then Officer Cordero made arrangements to go down there and pick him up. In a case like this, the target waives rendition. In other words, they waive the right to have a hearing about whether or not they should go back to the state where the charges have been filed. So in this case, Officer Cordero and a trooper from the Norfolk District Attorney's Office drove down to Pennsylvania, took custody of this guy, and brought him back. He's not wanted just on our charges. He's actually wanted on other warrants as well. And I think that there's a pending immigration issue regarding him as well that I don't have all the details on yet. But if you saw that on Facebook, just want to give you the background. Nice work by Officer Cordero of our warrant unit. Not unlike a case you might remember from about a year or so ago. Officer Kevin Riley of our department had a similar case. It was a fraud by phone. He was actually able to identify a Pennsylvania subject, identify him, get him arrested in Pennsylvania, and then Officer Riley drove down there with a trooper and took custody of the guy and brought him back. So I guess the message is, number one, don't commit crime. That's our general theme. But if you do and you flee to another state, we're going to come and get you. So I think it's good for people to know that. So it's Thursday, and I'm here at the corner of Washington Street and Cottage, where our detectives have just made a drug arrest. And I'm standing in front of the shop where it all took place, this 5-star wireless that's right behind me. We've had an investigation up now for the last couple of months where our detectives, coordinating with the NORPAC Task Force and the state police assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney, have been looking at the people at this store. You know, we have not seen really any business coming and going from the store at all. It's been our theory all along that these guys are living in the basement, which they're not supposed to be. So we got an investigation underway. Detective Tony Lopes was our primary. He's the one that ran the investigation. And over the course of the last couple of months, we've done a series of about 7 undercover buys. We've purchased both cocaine and heroin from the targets that are here. As I'm talking to you now, these people are being booked. They haven't even been fingerprinted. So although they're carrying identification, we don't really know what their true identities are yet. We'll learn that from their fingerprints. And that's all going on really right as I speak. So I don't have much more to report. They will be arraigned Friday on these charges. They're facing 4 counts of distribution of heroin and 3 counts of distribution of cocaine. And you can look to see more of that on our social media. So if you check out Twitter and Facebook over the next couple of days, we'll have more to report on that.
Thank you, Chief Brooks, Patrolman Cordero, and everyone at the Norwood Police Department. Great job as always. This past Saturday, parts of South Norwood experienced a power outage. At the Selectmen's meeting, General Manager Tony Mazzucco explained what exactly caused the outage.
It was a result of a snake getting into one of the substations, and it was not a squirrel this time. It was a small garden snake. Sadly, the little critter did not survive the incident, but it took out some equipment that's going to be costly to repair, but we were able to get the power back on within an hour.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. So still a good record given the damage that was done by a little snake. I actually have a photo. I wish I could have gotten it up on the screen.
You're not going to show it. If it looks anything like the squirrels, we're all
No. Just the small picture of
But the
the
good
hole
thing
that was
is,
burned.
the good thing is you won't do it again.
Yeah, he won't. He won't be doing it again. That's for sure.
That's pretty impressive. Yes.
And yeah, it was quite the little incident we had, but we got it up and running.
Thanks to Norwood Light for getting the power back on as quickly as possible. We'll be right back after this break to find out what changes are coming to the Norwood High parking lot this year and for this week's Living Local.
Norwood Community Media is your home for all things Norwood. NCM delivers your local news, original programs, and information across multiple platforms. From the comfort of your living room or out on the road, stay connected to Norwood and watch NCM live from wherever, whenever.
Welcome back. With the 2018-19 school year almost upon us, the students and parents driving to Norwood High School this year will notice some new traffic pattern changes. The changes are being made to improve the student safety during the time of drop-off and pickup. These adjustments to the traffic come from a recommendation by Public School Director of Building and Grounds, Paul Riccardi, and School Resource Officer, Paul Murphy. To explain all the changes, we toss it to School Resource Officer, Paul Murphy.
Hi, I'm Paul Murphy, School Resource Officer at Norwood High School. The purpose of this brief video is to show you the traffic pattern and drop-off procedure for Norwood High School. There have been some modifications for this school year which have been recommended by Norwood's Pedestrian Safety Committee. All students parking on campus at Norwood High will enter the driveway, which is accessed from the Peabody Road and Belmont Street area. Motorists who are dropping off students will access the drop-off lane behind the school from the same driveway. All drop-offs at the rear of the school must be from the dedicated drop-off lane. Motorists must pull as far forward as possible in this lane. Students entering the rear of the school will enter through door number 17. No one should be dropping off from the main road behind the school or any other areas on the campus. This area will be monitored by school personnel. No student drop-offs should take place in the staff and visitor parking area or bus lane in front of the school. This area is for buses, staff parking, visitor parking, and handicap parking only. Staff members parking in this area will enter the first entrance on the right. Those parking in handicapped spaces will also enter this way. Traffic will flow in one direction. There will be one entrance and one exit to this lot. There will also be one entrance and one exit to the visitor lot. The area in front of the school will also be monitored by school personnel. At the beginning of the school year, when some people may not be accustomed to the drop-off procedure and during inclement weather, lines tend to be longer. Students and motorists dropping off students should leave home a bit earlier to account for delays. An alternative to waiting in the traffic for the drop-off lane would be to drop off students on Nickel Street in front of the school, where students can access pedestrian crosswalks. Students will access the front of the school from the main entrance, which is door number 1. All traffic on campus will flow in one direction. The south driveway on campus will be an exit at all times. No one should be entering the campus from this driveway at any time. We hope that these modifications help keep students, staff, and visitors safe while at Norwood High School.
Thanks, Officer Murphy. We always appreciate everything you do to keep the kids at our school safe. This week on Living Local, Mike Maloof jogs down to Charles River Running to catch up with owner Charlotte Walsh. Let's find out all the amazing things that this store offers the residents of Norwood.
Thanks, Kristen. I am down here at lovely Charles River Running with Charlotte Walsh, the owner. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Sure, anytime.
So, how's the business going on down here?
We are growing steadily. More and more people hear about us, so we have new customers every day. So things are going well.
That's great. And I know there's a lot of things that you guys do with the community, whether it be the run clubs that you guys have or promoting the road races around town. Tell us a little bit about some of the road races that are coming up.
Yeah, actually this Sunday we have an inaugural event that we're hosting with Percival Brewing at the Norwood Space Center. It's called the Norwood Craft Brew 5K.
Awesome.
Yeah, it happens this Sunday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And you can register online, or you can just walk up and register at the Norwood Space Center.
Awesome. And are there any other ones that are happening later in the fall?
We do have of course, the Norwood Turkey Trot that happens always the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And there'll be lots of local races happening.
Okay. And if someone is interested in a race or finding out some races that are they can come down to the store?
Absolutely. We have race flyers, and we post a lot of things on our Facebook page as well.
Awesome. And another thing that you guys do for the community is the run clubs that you guys have. You want to tell everyone about those?
Yeah, we have a walking club and a running club. So our walking club is called Walk This Way, and it happens every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. in front of the store. And then we also have Thursday Strong at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
Okay, great. And how can people get involved in those? Just come to the store?
Give us a call at 781-349-8341. We can give you all the information. We also have a lot of stuff on Twitter and Facebook.
Great. And lastly, I know you guys are very big on being part of the community and joining with different stores around town. I know there's a morning running club that you guys partner up with one of the businesses down in South Norwood?
It's very early, so it's for the early risers, but it's early and it's healthy, and we've partnered with Central Market, the juice bar there, and we all meet at 6 a.m. on Tuesday in front of the juice bar and put our orders in, and then we go for about a 3-mile run together, and then when we get back, our orders are ready, and we pay, and we head off to work.
That's awesome. That's really great that you guys are combining with different businesses around town. I think that's great. Is there anything else that you guys want to let the town members know?
Well, we'll see everybody at Norwood Day. We'll have our booth right in front of the store here. The store will be open. We're going to have a lot of sales going on, and we're just really looking forward to fall and marathon season and having a lot of cool, nice days to run.
Well, thank you for coming on. If anyone is interested in getting involved in any of the running clubs, come down to Charles River Running. And that's all for Living Local. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Charlotte. If you want to find out more about some of the upcoming road races or events that are happening at Charles River Running, follow them on Facebook or Instagram. Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening in your local government.
The Norwood Landfill is a composting and recycling facility that is open for the use of Norwood residents only. The facility is open every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. all year long. Composting of leaves, brush, and grass clippings are allowed, loose or in biodegradable leaf paper bags. Excess single-stream recycling items are also allowed to be disposed in the designated dumpsters. The Norwood Winter Street Compost and Recycling Facility is located at 370 Winter Street. For more information, contact the Norwood Department of Public Works or visit www.norwoodma.gov.
Welcome back to Norwood News. Tuesday night was a busy night in your town government. The Board of Selectmen, Zoning Board of Appeals, and Townwide Facilities Task Force all held meetings. At the Board of Selectmen meeting, members heard a report from the Director of the Library, Charlotte Kennelly. Then, in a public hearing for Broadway used auto sales, members approved an application for a Class II MVL. Another public hearing was held for Grassroots Cultural and Performing Arts Center, who were submitting an application for a wine and malt beverage license. A citizen who lives near the center voiced his concerns about the potential sale of alcohol.
But for me, I have a little concern about, selling alcohol in this area, and if I have some people drunk and drive on the road in the night. So we are almost 112, right? We have 112 houses over there, the new build, and we all came from different places, and we are forming our community. So that's my only concern, because I have no idea. So I said, okay, I will go here and I'll talk. See, my polite request, because I am not going to against for the license or anything, but I am a little concerned about the people we are living over there. The street need to be very calm and cool for us.
Grassroots representatives said that they had the utmost respect for the community and would make it a priority to keep the streets surrounding the business safe. The application was approved unanimously. Then, Francis Hopcroft, acting as a representative for the PBCC, gave a report on the various projects the committee has undertaken. After hearing these updates, Selectman Bill Plasko commented on the work that will need to be done.
I was a little concerned, as I think some other members were, that the work that the Permanent Building Committee was doing was a little more extensive than the report we had from the manager, Carol, and went to town meeting with, and that we thought we would be proceeding with, even though I think most of us thought it would be more than 900,000. Still thought from when we first heard what the, or read in the papers or whatever, that the Permanent Building Committee, how they were proceeding, that it was beyond that scope. And therefore I wanted to get us together and talk and know more about it. I still believe it's beyond the scope of what we originally talked about. But I also believe, after further discussion, that it's the scope we now need to really go forward with this building if we're going to be doing it and doing it right. It's going to turn into a lot bigger project, probably. I think we shouldn't go overboard. I think we should look at the essentials of the wiring, the electrical system, the things that affect the public's and employees' use of the building, and not have to go too much further than that. But it probably would be good and helpful to get the information, to really be able to decide where those lines are and what we should or shouldn't do.
The selectmen voted unanimously to allow the PBCC to proceed with their work. To wrap up the meeting, DPW Director Mark Ryan came before the board to talk about complaints over paving on Plimpton Ave. A Cape Cod berm was used during this project for durability and to reinforce the roadway, but there have been concerns about how narrow the road has become as a result. After some discussion, it was determined that the DPW will look for alternative ways to keep traffic to a minimum on Plimpton Ave. The selectmen will meet again next Tuesday. During the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting, members approved 2 permit applications for additions to houses on Hill Street and Richland Road. The board then went into recess for 10 minutes, and when they returned, they approved a permit to make the Lenox Street Plaza signs slightly bigger so that tenants will be more visible. The board then went into recess for 10 minutes. When they returned, they continued a hearing from the previous meeting regarding Norwood Hospital's application to install temporary signage on both the building and between light poles. A citizen voiced concern about the precedent this would set.
First of all, generally, we're opposed to any temporary signage in the town. And unfortunately, the hospital has chosen its organization different. It's no longer a nonprofit. It's a commercial enterprise. And I think it opens to the town for other commercial outfits to, if you go along with temporary signage, to allow other temporary signage. It's going to be a bigger problem of this board as time goes on.
After some discussion, members decided to continue the hearing at their next meeting on September 11th. The last meeting of Tuesday night was the Townwide Facilities Task Force. Various town department heads were in attendance to report on the different projects going on at their buildings. Kathy Carney described some of the ongoing projects and improvements at Town Hall and around the town.
Recreation department, they did the men's shower over again, so we completed that project. It was long and drawn out, but we finally got it completed. The IT server room, we put new air conditioning units for the server room. We hope to have that completed this week. We also had created a small office area for Sean Warnock, the assistant IT director, so that should be completed. We're looking at VoIP. Mark Redlick has said he's trying to really commit to having VoIP up in Town Hall here and then start on the other buildings this fall, because that's been put off for a while. Mostly it was put off here at Town Hall because we thought we were going to have renovations and we didn't know where everything was going to go, but we've decided to just move forward where everything is and try to get that done. In Town Hall again, we're still trying to get scheduled for cameras and the locks, but that's all working through the IT department because everything is computerized now. So once they can work onto their schedule, we'll get that stuff done. For future, we don't have the money yet, but I may as well bring it up now. We're looking at replacing the generator here at Town Hall, but we kind of are in a dilemma because PBC still has some money to do the Town Hall renovations, but if we do the electrical portion, the load is going to be affected, so we won't really know what size generator we need to get, so it's kind of a catch-22. So we're going to work with the PBC and try to figure out for FY20 what we're going to do on that. The COA garage is complete. We're waiting, I think tomorrow the DPW is going to come and they're going to do the paving for it.
Today. They
Oh,
did
they
it
came
today.
Oh, good. Okay. So the COA garage is done, so now we're going to look at an RFP to lease out the other bay that we have there and bring some income to the town.
The townwide facilities will have their next meeting on September 25th. After opening roll call on Wednesday night, the Norwood Trails Subcommittee got to work on their Norwood Day preparations. Chairman Lee Leach started the discussions.
Just to let you know what I know about, the sign is on order. I don't have a date yet for when it will be completed, but that has been ordered.
Sue Bartlett brought up discussion of having signage of all trails currently in Norwood and what trails are currently being worked on.
I mean, you guys can say what you want, but I was thinking if we had like at least a map of, and we can mark it up later or whatever, so we can make it bigger and just have like trails that are currently in good condition, trails that are works in progress, and trails maybe that are future things, and have a visual for people that are coming by the booth to see where the trails are. I don't think we have to actually have handouts or whatever. I mean, people could take a picture with their phone, or we could have
Right.
references to like something online for our Facebook page, could have a map that's, whatever, but maybe a visual just so people will know how many trails there are really in town, because I don't think a lot of people know that.
The next Conservation Trails Subcommittee meeting will be September 12th at 7 p.m. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.
Stop by the Norwood Memorial Library and check out magazines, newspapers, DVDs, and of course, books. The library also offers a variety of services, including passport renewal, a notary, and tutoring, with multiple different meeting rooms which can be booked for your convenience. Take advantage of online digital resources and get assistance with all of your research needs. Kids can enjoy the children's room stocked with books and toys. There are also a variety of programs for children and adults. And if you can't make it into the library can come to you with home delivery. The library is open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. To learn more, go to www.norwoodlibrary.org.
Welcome back. Tryouts for the Norwood High School fall sports got underway this week. To learn more about the upcoming athletic season, we toss it to NHS Athletic Director John Longwood.
And you want to hold it about even with the net line, okay, the top of the net.
Today is the first official practice tryout day for fall sports. So we have a lot of activity here at the high school. We're very excited about the upcoming fall season. We have, as you may see behind us, the varsity football team with their first day in pads, practicing on this beautiful Thursday morning. And around campus today we have volleyball in the gym, cheerleading in the gym. We also have field hockey out on the turf. Boys and girls soccer are practicing down at Father Max. And cross country is between the track and the road. So we're really excited. We have over 350 student athletes registered for the fall season. Cheering and football have been practicing for a few days now while all the other teams officially begin today. Please follow us at NHS Mustangs on Instagram and Twitter. Also go to norwoodmustangs.com for all information related to the athletic program, including fall schedules. So we're really excited for a fantastic fall season and looking forward to the community's support this fall.
Thanks, John. The Norwood Police Department held their second week of the Youth Police Academy this week. Children from around town spent the week learning what it takes to become a police officer for the Norwood Police Department. On Monday, the kids were visited by state police officers and were taught how to investigate a crime scene. Tuesday, they traveled to Gillette Stadium for a tour of the facilities from Norwood resident and New England Patriots employee Brad Thornton. Wednesday, officers from the Mass Environmental Police paid a visit to the kids and gave a brief demonstration. Then on Thursday, the children traveled to the local jail and then into Boston for a tour of the harbor. Thank you so much to the Norwood Police Department for providing these kids with such a great experience. Just a reminder to residents, Mass DOT and the MBTA are undertaking federally mandated positive train control infrastructure installation, which will increase the safety of commuter rail customers, and would like to advise the community of the overnight work within the right-of-way along the MBTA Franklin commuter rail line. Overnight activities by the PTC Systems Integrator and Saldo STS USA Incorporated are anticipated to resume next week, August 27th, along the MBTA Franklin commuter rail line in Norwood, Walpole, Norfolk, and Franklin. Work will occur as necessary between approximately 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. The MBTA would like to thank you in advance for your cooperation. For further information, visit mbta.com/PTC. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.